Hi everyone, it's Kate from the Fold Line. I am back this week to talk all things sewing bee. Whew, it's getting pretty exciting now. I think next week is the semi-finals. If you haven't seen this week's episode, go and watch it and then come back to us because there are loads of spoilers in here. Yeah, I'm finding I'm getting really excited now about the kind of last couple of weeks. The challenges have really upped their game, haven't they? I'm sure you guys are watching it in kind of mock horror at the amount of stuff they've got to do in limited times. So I'm going to get cracking talking all things sewing patterns. So to start off with, I'm going to talk about the first challenge, which was a tailored jacket made from linen. This was blooming hard and they only had 4 hours to make this. I don't know about you guys, but I would have gone to pieces having to do this. I thought it was really difficult. It was a men's jacket. I've got two options for you. I put a women's jacket in as well because I thought it might have inspired you to do a classic women's blazer. So the pattern that I have chosen is the Foreman jacket from Merchant and Mills. You'll see that this is a kind of a really classic workwear jacket and quite similar to the one that they made. The only difference is that the collar is more relaxed on this one. But when they described what they were making as a workwear jacket, and I felt personally that this is closer to a classic workwear one than the one that they were making. Yeah, so features, it's got the kind of patch pockets, buttons down the front, it's got the notched collar that they had, quite similar, it's got that facing with the top stitching that they had as well. Yeah, pretty similar. This comes in sizes 36 to 46 for men, so I'll pop links to all of the patterns down below and the blog post, well, we'll link to the blog post with all the patterns on so you can go and have a look. So that's the first one. I was thinking if you were inspired by that and you wanted to make yourself a blazer, I've got the Jessica blazer from Closet Case Patterns. This is a very new pattern. I thought this was quite good to talk about purely because she does fantastic patterns. It's a classic bit of tailoring for a woman, and I thought also that she also does really fantastic sew along. So there is a sew along, I think it's starting now for this jacket, which gives you loads of extra help and hints and tips as you sew it. So it's really, really handy and useful. So the Jessica blazer, comes in sizes 0 to 20 and is available on the online shop. Yeah, I just thought this was really lovely, and I think, yeah, you're gonna love it. So that was the first round of excitingness, and I thought they all did really well actually. I definitely wouldn't have got that finished in 4 hours. So the next thing was the upcycling challenge. This was based on, they got given a parasol and a deck chair, and they had to take the fabric off and then make something, anything they wanted out of these kind of two items. And they were really creative actually. I really enjoyed this week's one. So, some of the weeks before have been a bit out there, but I thought this week's ones are really interesting. So I've got a few pattern suggestions. So Jen made a really, really lovely pleated skirt with this sort of kind of smock style top. I've got a couple of pattern suggestions for the skirt because I thought actually it's a really classic shape and I think a lot of people probably would really like it. So we've got the 3 pleat skirt from the Assembly line. This comes in sizes extra small to large and is available, which is roughly a UK 8 to 20, and it is available on the online shop. I put this one in and another one in because this one I really liked. It's got quite big dramatic pleats, and it was quite similar to Jen's in the fact that she had created a really interesting play on the stripes where she'd sewn down the pleats, which basically made it look like a colour block, and then when the kind of pleats were opened up you could see the other half of the stripe. So it was really interesting and I really thought that was really nice. So this one would definitely work. Another option would be the Burda 6466. This probably was a little bit closer to Jen's version. It's got more pleats in it and it looks almost like a school skirt actually. It reminds me of my old school skirt, which was very similar to this, with those sort of pleats, sewed down pleats. This comes in sizes 8 to 20. Yeah, so this would be another really good option. The top version that Jen made, I found it actually a really good match. Her top was kind of gathered into the neckline, and I found the Wendy smock from Marvin Patterns, which comes in sizes approximately 8 to 8, UK 8 to 18, is available on the online shop. So this has gathering into a neckband which has got a bias binding around it. It's a very relaxed fit shape. It's, I think, a really nice, really good like cover up in the sunshine, like beach, perfect for the beach, and it's very easy to make. The gathering around here means that you don't need a bust dart, so yeah, if you're bigger busted this also would definitely work for you. So I thought that was pretty close. The next pattern was, whose was this? Janet. So Janet did this really amazing play with the stripes where she created like a star shape on her dress. And we did quite a bit of hunting and we found something that's actually quite similar. It's the, I'm going to massacre the description of this, Centauri dress from Deer and Doe. This comes in sizes 6 to 18 and is available on the online shop. But I thought looking at the line drawing was really similar actually. The bodice with that sort of star shape, and then it's got a gathered skirt which Janet's had, so I thought this was actually quite similar. And yeah, I thought actually it's a really lovely summer dress. I'd sort of forgotten about this pattern. The thing that's been really nice about doing sewing bee is actually like rediscovering older patterns that perhaps have got forgotten. So I love it when we find something we're like, oh, I forgot that even existed. So I thought this would be a really nice one to make. Next up, Ricardo. Now, if anyone remembers, he made these sort of bloomers. I didn't spend a lot of time looking for the bloomers because I figured probably there aren't that many people on the hunt for really enormous bloomers. But the top he made was really nice. So I found the McCall's 7784. This was very similar to his. Big straps, bust darts, very simple actually, and it's got a zip up the back. This version also comes with lots of options to add ruffles and different types of sleeves, the kind of what you expect with McCall's, where you get loads and loads of extra options. So yeah, I thought this was pretty close actually to his one. I know there's an extra tie around kind of upper arm, but you could always take that off if you wanted to make it closer to his. Right, now we're getting into coats. So the final challenge was making a coat in, I think they only had 5 hours or maybe even 6 hours, which again, that is brutal. I would have definitely struggled, I have to say. I really struggled. So I'm going to start with, oh, I think I've lost one. No, I haven't. Okay, so the first person I'm going to talk about is Juliet. I'm pretty sure we've got hers. I have to say, this coat one, I think Rachel and I did really well. I think we've pretty much got everyone's. So the first one is Juliet, and we found the Vogue 9133. The picture of the kind of picture of the model wearing it isn't very clear to see, because she's not wearing the version that I think Juliet made. I'll show you a line drawing and the illustration, and you can see it's got that. The really interesting thing about this coat, which I loved actually, was it's got a kind of a seam, and then the collar is kind of built up on top of that, so it's stitched in, and it means that it sits up, so it almost looks like you've turned up your collar all the time. I thought it was a really lovely shape, and I thought actually nailed it. I thought it was really lovely, and she made it in a really lovely camel colour. Yeah, I mean, again, pretty hard to whip this up in how many hours with a camera in your face and everything else. So I thought this was, yeah, I think this is the one. Ricardo, who every week, I'm just going to say, can you please use a pattern that is in print? He taunts us with his lovely vintage vintage pics, but we have found it. So it is the style 1671, and it's a really, really beautiful trench coat. You can see from the illustration, I mean, it's gorgeous, like classic sort of 70s shape, with that kind of dramatic sort of storm flap that he had on the back. There are a few of them floating around on the internet, so just to hunt, we just hunt style 1671 and there will be a few that come up. I think actually after last night some of them have now gone, but definitely worth it. You can find them still. So his was, yeah, that was, I'm pretty sure that was it. We saw the illustration on the program, so we managed to find it, which makes everything a hell of a lot easier. So next up we have got Leah's. This one taunted us for a while, I have to say. We were looking through vintage ones, and I'm pretty sure that I saw that it was I saw her cutting out, and I'm pretty sure I saw Simplicity. Anyway, I think we've got it. It's the Simplicity 1197. It comes in sizes 6 to 24. Classic 60s swing coat, but not the swing coats that you can tell the difference between the ages of the swing coats, because the 60s ones became much more fitted, the 50s ones were enormous, they had so much fabric in it, and the 60s silhouettes became a little bit sharper. So this one I thought was really good. I was really pleased to find it. It's got the raglan sleeves, it's got this really interesting kind of, I guess it's like a dart almost, just going into the sleeve. The only thing that she did differently to this is that she added patch pockets rather than putting in welt pockets, which I think was very clever time-wise, because you would have just not got it done. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is the pattern that she used. It's got the same, if you look at the line drawings, it's pretty similar. Next up we have got, who was this? I think this was Janet. Sorry, laptop here. Yes, it was. So Janet's coat, was really tricky. And we looked and looked and looked, and I managed to freeze frame a bit of the, freeze frame the program, and I could see like this very blurred image of her pattern. Anyway, worked out who the designer was, it's Marcy Tilton for Vogue. I then googled Marcy Tilton for Vogue coats, and I managed to find it. So it's the V8934. I'm pretty sure this is it. It actually looks it looked to me dramatically different from the cover of the pattern. I would never have thought it was the same coat. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it is this one. So yeah, it's got that sort of bubble shape, the kind of dramatic neckline. And yeah, I thought this was, yeah, it's a really nice one actually. This one is not out of print, so this is available and is floating around on the internet, so you can definitely find it. Last but definitely not least, we have got Jen's, and I think Jen's was the one that we struggled with the most. So hers was a sort of 60s swing coat again. It had princess seams, and a raglan sleeve, which was quite interesting in terms of cut lines. I haven't seen that actually that often. We looked around for ages and basically found a 1960s, a vintage pattern. I can't for the life of me, I can't for the life of me work out what the brand is for it. I'm gonna pop the link to this pattern because it's on Etsy. It doesn't say what brand it is. Oh, Mrs. Oh, sorry, Mrs. So that was part of the Simplicity, well now the Simplicity McCall's banding, but yeah, that was the, sorry, Very, very organised this morning, as you can tell. Yeah, so misses. So you can find these again floating around, and I'll pop a link because this is actually the Etsy. You can buy this pattern, so it's available. Right, that is it from us. I hope you enjoyed that. We will be back next week with the penultimate Sewing Bee Roundup, which I can't believe we're nearly there. Hope you have a lovely week, and we'll be back again with another video very soon. Bye.